Rob Rich here. Now, or break down the distinction as to what's better, a vegan diet or the primal, primitive, with purpose Weston A Price diet, in order to have good looking teeth, healthy children, full facial development, with having the males especially having the fatter noses on the bottom, the dental arches protrude out as they're supposed to. You got room for your teeth underneath your lower jaw. You got plenty of room for your wisdom teeth. What diet predominates to be the healthiest in that aspect? And the most important? That one is the Weston A Price diet. Weston A Price, head researcher of dentistry in the 20s and 30s. Other videos in my YouTube channel. I suggest you read it, the book, or at least look in my videos, but everybody should read that book. I mean, it would be mandatory. If you want good looking kids with nice teeth, and if you want to save your teeth, ravages of crooked dentistry, modernized dentistry is crooked beyond comprehension. That's what I could say in a nutshell regarding that. But let's digress more, okay? I was informed back when I was 23 years old about veganism and eating maybe possibly a vegan diet by a Vietnam vet I met at the gym here in Lincoln, Maine a long time ago. 23, so we're talking almost years ago. 28 years ago, I believe. So what transpired over that time, that the person looked in great shape, war veteran, looking to get rid of his Agent Orange in his body, and he was he was really fit. He told me, he hiked up Mount Katahdin every day and all. Hats off to him for doing that. I go, my God, this guy's insane. So I thought maybe I ought to take that kind of a diet, but his teeth were all gold, like yellow and like gold, almost a gold color. So I go, I don't know if that's right. I just picked up the Weston A Price book too. So that was like the biggest of all insults. I bought the book by Price. I couldn't believe what I read when I was 23 years old as well. And I was blown away. And yeah, I just couldn't figure out, I couldn't believe what I read. I read it twice. It's just amazing how it will change the way you look at someone the rest of your life. It'll change how dentistry is crooked now beyond comprehension, because Price was the head researcher of dentistry then, and he was wanting to know what's going on with people's crooked teeth. Things ain't looking right, and the wisdom teeth are all crowded, or everything's going wrong. What's going on? And he found the solutions, a whole litany of things with the diet, just making your teeth look so much better, these primitive cultures, because Price went with his wife all over the world, traveled all over the world. Nowhere near every country. What do we have, 178 countries in the world, or approximately around there, say estimate 180, maybe there's more now, I'm not sure if they classified other places as countries, but anyways, so he's only, let's see, some of the places that he went to were the Isle of the Hebrides of Scotland, the Swiss of Lower Channel Valley in Switzerland, the 32 primitive tribal members in South Africa, Australian Aborigines, Northern Canadian Indians, the Alaskan Eskimo people. Well, Eskimos, I'm not sure if it's just there. I can't be. I don't know if they categorize or class it, or if that's how they're called only in Alaska. I don't think so. I'm gonna just say, but he studied a various group up there. I thought in some Native American tribes, even in Florida, I thought only a couple, but they're not really no detail much in the book, or I thought I mentioned it somewhere in there. I'm not sure if it was the Cherokee or some Native American group in the U.S., but nothing detailed where it's a whole chapter. And then you have, so 32 different tribes in Africa, that's monumental. That's a good hunk of different groupings. Also, there was Pacific Islanders people, New Zealand. I thought New Zealand, near New Zealand or beside there. Okay, and it was fascinating to know that when studying all these groups, all of these tribal people, 6 months before conception, before, conception, and then in preparation for childbirth, both genders had special diets they're supposed to eat. Modernization doesn't teach you none of that. They throw all that crap to the wayside, and you got advertisers just wanting to sell you anything and everything. Vitamin, mineral, nutrient supplements. I mean, all this stuff you don't need, okay? The mainstay, in order to have like healthy offspring generation after generation and to keep the mitochondrial DNA reinforced, was to have either raw, like milk, high vitamin, high fat, nutrient dense foods, high fat soluble activator foods like organ meats, liver, kidneys, sweet breads, pancreas, heart, all your organ meats, brain, I mean, all of it. They had that, and then they have all the seafood roe, the fish roe, free range animals, all this, wild game meat, you name it. Seaweed, I mean, some of that wasn't a super height. It's got nutrient rich stuff for fertilization. And so all these cultures, they had all this it was a planned effort to do this, to have incredible, your offspring are like, they're everything. To have a kid is planned. It's absolutely everything to have healthy children. So upon his studying with all the teeth and all, okay, even the ones with who have perfect teeth, as soon as their offspring that they have, the children that they have, before they're fully mature, 18, 19 years old, from childbirth to 18, 19 years old, just because, okay, both parents had perfect pearl white teeth, perfect dental arches, what he was saying, Price was advocating and showing with photos and all, the very first group, your first childbirth, you could malfunction with the kids, the defects, the deformity, your arches get all crooked if they're fed this junk, they're not breastfed. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it makes it even harder for their immune system and all this. And then not, feeding, some of the worst possible food imaginable. I mean, it's beyond comprehension. So when I ate this way for 4 years, a vegan diet, I ate, plants. I would cheat a little bit, very rarely, once a month, maybe I get a can of tuna like this other guy recommended. And then once in a while I'd have eggs. But I never thought nothing of it. I thought, well, the vegan thing, I mean, that's the way, you got to be. It was really rare. I mean, I don't know, maybe not, was very infrequent. It was just mostly all plant source food, nuts and seeds and fruit, dried fruit, all organic fruit and stuff. So what's amazing, okay, with all this, with Price, his the most focused things were, having nice teeth and your arches forming out. And he was saying a lack of vitamin A, and that's like in the organ meats, it's the retinol, not the beta carotene, not with carrots. No, you got to have the liver, the organ meats. That was crucial, they're saying, for the mitochondrial DNA to help give you room with your wisdom teeth. That wasn't mentioned in the book, but through observation, they weren't eating that stuff, and their generation after generation, their teeth got worse. The wisdom teeth were actually, there was none, or they're all impacted. It looked horrible. You know, impacted teeth. Well, what's wrong? Oh, it's the genetics. No. Hello? It's the nutrition that gives bad genes, bad outcomes. That's the deal in a nutshell. So, in that one generation, because your wife, your girlfriend, you got perfect teeth, say, no cavities even, you're 25, 20, 30 years old. Oh, you know, we're going to get healthy kids just like anybody else. We could do what we want. No, no, no. You got to have it was all planned, man. You got to have special foods. Nutrient dense, fat soluble activator foods, all the organ meats, raw milk, seafood, fish, all that good stuff, grass-fed beef, free-range animals, you know, you don't feed them artificial junk. All that stuff in preparation to have room in your teeth. And so when I ate this way, my 4 years of nearly starvation, I was about 180 to 175 when I got out of high school. And then I dropped down to 155 when I first started the veganism movement. And I didn't feel any better whatsoever. I mean, my strength went down the toilet. I mean, I didn't have any major energy throughout the day or nothing. I mean, I was eating like oat grains too. That's what I had. I had oat groats, millet, short grain brown rice, long grain brown rice, basmati brown rice, all organic stuff, organic millet. There's just so much other stuff. Even I avoided the wheat because I think I had an allergy to that. So, but eating that way was horrendous. You know, you could destroy your teeth, all your enamel. I mean, it'll go right off, gets washed off. Not a sound vegan diet is the worst diet for your teeth. Almost the worst diet. I mean, and it's definitely the worst if you want to have your children have beautiful teeth with room for your wisdom teeth to come out, protrude out in your jaw. I mean, you don't want to have all these compactions. And so what my observations have been, how I notice, what I've noticed, observed, through the people that are succeeding in veganism is their somatotype. For humans, you got ectomorphs like me, like I was. I had long arms, long legs, hardly any fat at all, skinny, lean, and narrowing, you know, long legs, super long arms. I was classified that. And you got a mesomorph. They got shorter legs compared to upper body. They're naturally muscular, like a Joe Atlas, or like built like a brick blank house. And then you got endomorphs that put on a lot of fat, and they got bigger bones, more burly, more robust actually. And so what I found out is the endomorphs, the big robust ones that have a lot of fat reserves, they could go on these crazy nutrient deficient diets. I mean, they're nutrient deficient, and they could subsist this way. And also what you need to pay attention to when you look at somebody or even interview them, ask them, how's your teeth? Do they got crooked dental arches? Okay? I mean, you know that. So anyways, these big, burly, robust, they got big bones. They're like Joe, you know, they weren't born from parents that were eating a vegan diet. Ask them. Ask these big, burly endomorphs with perfect teeth why they're subsisting on a vegan diet now. They're doing it now because their parents, you look beyond, look beyond why they look the way they look. Their parents, hello, their parents. So what they did was the Weston A Price diet. They had to have nutrient-dense foods, organ meats. You ask any of these people that are succeeding. I believe there's a guy, Richard Burgess. aka Vegan Gains. He looks massive, okay? I think he's tall. I don't know how tall he is. I never talked with the guy. I don't mean no offense or nothing, but I think he's like a mulatto. Maybe he has some, you know, mix of white race, an African American, whatever. But he looks huge. He looks like he got huge big bones. He looks like he'd be an endomorph, okay? And it makes sense why he's going so long and thriving maybe on a vegan diet. For him, he's got all the fat reserves, loads of it. When you're an endomorph, doesn't look like he has anything wrong with his teeth. They look perfect, okay? And also, I've watched on YouTube a guy named Rich Roll. He was an endomorph. He's like a fanatic fitness guy. He's in incredible shape. He is all vegan as far as what I've heard. I know he has coconut oil for stamina and all. He eats a lot of that. From what I'm not sure how much, but he does consume coconut oil, organic, unrefined, and his teeth look exceptional shape. And you look at people, and he was also an endomorph, okay? And then the person that was a vegan for the longest time, he was a brain surgeon. You'd have to go look on YouTube. I forgot the gentleman's name. I'll have to write it down, or I should have put it down, but I didn't. But just coming to think to my mind right now, he's almost 100 years old. I think he was still a doctor, maybe a surgeon, maybe it was even a brain surgeon till like 90 years old. And I don't know how long he was eating a vegan diet, but what you have to pay attention to, and I mean scrutinize, is his teeth look beautiful, okay? So, in other words, his parents, their genetics had to have been superior as well. But he looked, it's hard to say because he's older guy, he's, you know, almost a centurion, but he looks like an ectomorph, but his teeth look beautiful, okay? Pearl white, okay? There's the exception, and he's eating a vegan diet for quite a while. I don't know, I don't interview these people, but just from my observations on the outside looking in, that is what I observed. Those people are going to have the longest proponent of succeeding is the ones that have perfect teeth, dental arches, beautiful pearl white teeth, and they're also endomorphs. Whoever falls into those two guidelines right there, I'm sure they could go on a vegan diet and think it's all good. And then the biggest mistake, the biggest blunder, the biggest misconception is telling everybody else that has mercury-laden teeth, amalgam fillings, they got crooked teeth, they got yellow teeth, they got crooked arches, I mean, they got illnesses, severe. I mean, you don't tell them to go eat a vegan diet. That's the biggest blunder ever. And then what makes things even worse, through Weston A Price, is trying to tell people to eat you can no way ever have all the minerals, vitamins you possibly could have in order to plan to have healthy looking, good looking kids. That was the other focus in Weston A Price's book, besides nutrition, is having good looking teeth. Your teeth. You know, what do you want to be? Go to a circus? Have your kids, you know, being all, you know, teeth all messed up, their arches all deformed? I mean, holy smokes, this world shouldn't even have to deal with dentistry. Only with ones that have accidents, that get their teeth punched out or something like that. Aside from that, you know, a severe car accident or something, they get, you know, busted out. Dentistry should be a thing of the past. And another big insult from that book by Weston A Price tells you what you have to eat to not have dental problems, to have cavities, to cure them. I mean, it's insane. Read chapter 22 in that book. So, when I ate that diet, and then when I got skinny as a rail, okay, I was 128 pounds, and, you know, I think I was almost gonna die, all right? I was so thin. And what saved me was the book. I had to read through Weston A Price's book. I go, oh my word, here's the truth. This is the truth. I mean, I guzzled down, I've eaten over 200 pounds of liver, raw liver. I got videos on the best way. It's just, you know, it's something that you need to really pay attention to. You're not a murderous killer. You're watching modernization on TV that has nothing to do with planning on having healthy kids with beautiful teeth, and they could think up here better. They got more common sense with their mental capacities. I mean, and it doesn't matter as far as, you know, you got to know how to forage, hunt, fish, trap. I mean, modernization in a city, where are you going to go fishing? Where do you go trapping? Where do you go hunting? You don't know nothing, okay? You're just someone that's going through these analysis things on a computer all day long. I mean, that's not going to make you healthier, and that's not going to help your children. If you got kids, that's the biggest insult. I want to see, I'm never going to ever debate anybody until to tell me that a vegan diet is good, until they have to read Weston A Price's book first, and they have to show me that it's in their hands and they've read it, and they can tell me all the chapters, what they talk about. I want to know. And then I also want to know is what kind of situation they are as far as their teeth is, what is their structure in their mind, and then with their immune system as far as the teeth being in good shape. And is this why they last so long on a vegan diet, and then also being an endomorph? Yes. My observations, and I'm not the only one, okay? There's got to be other people that notice this. Why are these vegans eating so much and doing so well? Because they're endomorphs, man. They got a huge extra normal reserve, and they're probably most likely for starvation. You know, when you don't have ample food, or food is real negligible, or there's hardly anything to pick from, their fat reserves will carry them over much longer for starvation. They could go way better. They could go longer. And even why I'm thinking about this now is why that would be like the ideal somatotype to be, is a endomorph. The ones that could put on the fat they have in their system, in their DNA, you know? But how we are now in modernization, we ain't exercising hard. We're not foraging for our own food. We're not hunting. We're not fishing. We're not doing trapping. We're not doing anything to educate nobody. It's all about money and putting money in your pocket. I mean, it's so artificial and fake. How much more do you need? You know, we need to have like the perfect utopia is, you know, to feel happy, treat others with as you want to be treated, with respect and dignity, learning from one another. I mean, this is retarded craziness. You got to eat a certain way. I mean, as far as the veganism goes, that is insane. You've lost your mind. Your reality is so distorted, it's beyond comprehension. Your kids, okay, your kids are going to want to strangle you. If you both ate a vegan diet before conception, look at your children. Read Weston A Price's book. You're going to see their jawbone is going to be worse. They're probably going to have the wisdom teeth are going to be impacted, or other teeth are going to be impacted. It is going to look so unsightly. We're not supposed to look that way. All these cultures did this. And then the Peruvian Indians, that was the other group I forgot to mention. He went to South America, all different places in South America. He did studies, studies with the milk, over 2,000 samples of healthy milk. And of butter samples rather, the butter, 2,000 different butter samples. Everything was in there, man. And with your thinking, how you think, your fitness level. Can you imagine in the Andes Mountains hiking with a 200, 300 pound rucksack up the Andes Mountains and back down to get money, like with root vegetables or grain or something like that? That's what these people did. Do you know how strong you have to be and how fit your body has to be? Yeah, insane. And it's not all vegan diet. Yeah, cultures could go and not have to eat meat and stuff every day, and they could go and eat other stuff because that's just commonality for being a normal hunter-gatherer. You don't always win and get your hunts. You don't succeed. You don't always get to be able to successfully trap an animal to eat it. You never do. There's law of diminishing returns. It doesn't always come to fruition. You're not going to always succeed. Hunting was never 100%. It's so low. I think maybe 15-20%. You're lucky if you got an animal or something to eat and feed your tribal members, you know, your group. I mean, it is way different now. Modernization is so crazy. It's all out there. You're out for a loop. And then another thing is telling people, like, eat a vegan diet in the cold. That is so absurd. You're risking so many people getting hypothermia, possibly dying from stupidity. I mean, how crazy is that? You look at my other videos I have. I took the time, I researched, I studied, and what's the biggest insult is a lot of these tribal people know this stuff, and then everyone else, modernization has crippled them and tried to humiliate them like they're a bunch of idiots. They're eating high cholesterol foods, which has no credit to causing any kinds of shortening of life at all. It's so preposterous. It's insane, okay? And this corruption has to come to an end. So, you look at my video, that is me, okay? In that beginning of like a banner, whatever you want to call, marquee or banner I have in my videos, I'm going to be putting that more commonly now in all my YouTube videos. 128-pound vegan, I got, you know, like scrawny from that, and then I got my diabetes, you get even skinnier, you look absolutely horrible, okay? It didn't benefit. That diet was the worst diet ever, okay? I mean, I was so hungry, and I'm an ectomorph. Put them together, ectomorph and veganism, and then having your teeth screwed up, that does not go at all. That's a complete failure, okay? And the ones that are broadcasting that are big, robust, or athletes, they're endomorphs. You got to go look beyond. What were these athletes before? Like, say they got slimmer. An endomorph can get slim. But were they endomorphs? They got other special things. Their body makeup is different than someone that's an ectomorph, okay? The ectomorphs that want to be a vegan is the worst thing. And then if you got amalgam fillings in your mouth, the mercury, it's toxic. It's more than 50%. Present modernized filling material. It's just insane, okay? Look and do the research, man. I'm not jiving. I'm straight on accurate, okay, with this stuff, man. It's not jive. Read Weston A Price's book. I post it all over. There's other people, but every country, 178 countries, there should be at least 10, there should be like 100, actually, people that know Weston A Price. And every school, every college should be teaching what this guy did, what he studied. I mean, it's like a manual on how to be healthy. You know, look at my other videos and subscribe to my channel. Don't be a fool. I mean, there's other people. Anybody that has Weston A Price's knowledge, you subscribe to their channel, okay? We help one another out. This isn't like who's better than who. I would feel so happy to get vegans to listen and follow a Weston A Price diet. You wouldn't believe how much I'll go out of my way to help them. I mean, I went out of my way to help myself to survive, okay? And I mean, I work my ass off, 35 beats a minute, resting heart rate. Lance Armstrong's was like 34. Mine was almost like his, and I was 223 pounds, way heavier. But I was wanting to do like MMA. I was going to do MMA fighting, but I didn't do enough Muay Thai to get my shins conditioned and thicker. I still was going to be doing that. I used the punching bag. I've used the speed bag. I mean, I don't post it. I haven't bothered. I haven't shown many no videos of me exercising because I've done so much of that from 33 till like now that I'm actually tired of really having to look at it. I mean, I could see other people posting, you know, doing them, and I'm an optimistic person, but I'm being realistic. It's been in my brain over and over again, doing push-ups, doing pull-ups, doing sit-ups. So I've kind of transitioned to wanting to do like the Ultraman, or like doing a lot of running, do a lot of swimming, do a lot of bicycling, different things like of that nature. You know, you can only do so much of the same thing over and over and over again, you know. And then earlier in my lifetime, I did a lot of weight training from 14 to 32 years old. And then that was the biggest mistake ever. I don't think that's good either. The weight training ought to go out too, eliminate that as well. But, so, if you want to not have to get sick, and look at that, my beginning of my pictures on my video, that could be you too if you want to stick being a vegan and be that way. You look so emaciated, you know, your body, your complexion, you look horrible. And I know from running, and I know runners that are really thin that do the miraculous times, they look emaciated but they're fit. It's not the same deal. Eating a vegan way is not the best way. And then why maybe that they are living, I mean, they're succeeding or they're going farther is because of your teeth. But if these vegans want to have kids that have broad, robust, healthy, strong, they need to eat properly. And also, you know, you need to just really think, and don't be in such a hurry quick to judge. Relax. Think. You got to read the darn book. It's like a manual. He shows you. Weston A Price. I mean, it's insane. How to save your teeth. You don't even need to see a dentist. If you're an orthodontist, well, that's because from being, okay, here's another thing. If you're a vegan parents, you do not feed them a vegan diet. Your kids, your children, read Weston A Price's book. That's not, I mean, you need to do it. Don't be not doing this and ignoring it, because it'll be too late. And that's what I already mentioned before. So, call the Vegan Busters. You got Ghostbusters. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. No, Vegan Busters. Weston A Price. He's the vegan annihilator, man. Destroys a vegan into little teeny bits and pieces. Nothing left. What do you say? Prove to me, vegans, what I just said. You're going to have children with beautiful pearl teeth, white teeth, dental arches. You're going to have room for all your wisdom teeth to come out. Prove it. They're going to be big, broad, robust. They're going to be like little skeletons. They're going to have little skinny fingers, look rejected. I mean, really, that's what you want? And that's why there's only a handful of people under, you know, really trying to get gung-ho with Weston A Price. Well, yeah, everybody ought to. It's shocking. And they say most people don't do nothing in 7 years. That's the biggest kick in the gut. You know, if you found out about the book and your kids are like, that could still change their facial features when they're like 12, 13 years old and make some dramatic difference, don't put that book on hold. You got to get on a program right away. And man, I will do myself, go out on a limb, but I'm going to do it for a fee, is consultations on how to make sure your children don't look goofed up, okay? I mean, that's a shocker, you know? Beautiful is not beautiful nowadays, okay? I mean, it's horrendous. You got to change it, man. The primitive is the way to go. I'm not judging from anybody as far as the race goes. I think we're all equal. I think that's all a bunch of jive. And, you know, you got to look at your teeth. Who's the one that's got the smart, you know, what they're eating, you know, as far as how are these people thinking, man? Do they have it all here in their mind? What's going on? Is it all about money? How in the hell is that any better? You need to grow up, man, and help others. These people that are all for themselves conceited, you know, you got a problem. You need to see a psychologist or do some mental evaluation as far as what's going on. And then also, you know, the veganism, the vegans, you got to change, man. Hey, you know, I went out of my way. I should have never said nothing. And what if these other people on YouTube never mentioned anything? Do you know what kind of position the vegan movement would be? And then everybody's eating all junk and wonder why they're all sick. Your facial features, it look horrendous. The anthropologists that do studies, you know, on just the skull formations, they're going to look horrendous. They're going to be so skinny, thin, papery. They'll be like freaking paper, where someone could punch a fist in someone's head. You keep eating this lousy diet, deficient, degenerative diet, it's, you know, it makes the skulls are going to be paper thin, and you fall back on your head. You got kids, you fed them a junk diet and they got skinny bones, scrawny bones. They look so malnourished, they fall on their head and crack it open and die. I mean, that's not funny at all. That's terrible. And your teeth all messed up. You know, I mean, you guys got to wake up and smell the roses, man. So thumbs up on this video. I went out of my way. I'm not trying to annihilate you. Weston A Price already did, man. I don't need to say nothing. I don't need to debate nobody. If you cannot prove that, find me some vegans that are not in that category. They're not endomorphs, and their teeth are not perfect, and they're doing well, and they're thriving on a vegan diet. Name them. Put them all down on my thing. Write a comment in my comment section of this video, okay? And then put the vegans that are lasting long, over 5 years, whatnot, 5, 10 years. Are they endomorphs? And what's the condition of their teeth? Okay? Now, think about it. You guys that have this fall in this category, and if you got kids that are under the age of peak maturity, full maturity, 18, 19 years old, say they're 12, 13 years old, you got to revert to eating the Weston A Price diet. And then if you want to hound them, oh, eat a vegan way, but not when they're growing up, they're going to be deficient. Your children seeing an orthodontist when they shouldn't have had to because you're too ignorant. You got to wake up, man. You can do it. We're not all against you. You change your diet. I'm a proponent from changing vegans to Weston A Price people. That's the way you got to be, man. That was worldwide. And he didn't have a chance to study when World War II was going, like in Japan, you know, Germany, all these other countries, when all this crazy chaos was going on back then. And it kind of coincided then, but still, the timeline when this guy did his observations was unbelievable. I mean, insanity, okay? So, if you could undermine what I just said, I mean, and I had my resting heart rate eating the Weston A Price diet of 35 beats per minute. But also, I'm not trying to say, okay, I'm a type 1 diabetic, there's a hormone insulin, maybe that can get you bigger, but my idea was, I don't believe that was the case. That's debatable there, as far as, was it really? I don't think so, but I could be wrong over that, because I have to take the hormone insulin to live. So I don't know, okay, as far as getting that much heavier. But my heart rate, man, almost the same like with a Lance Armstrong or somebody. I mean, my heart is fit, okay? And I'm going to get it back down again in the 30s. And I'm going to show you. I got one of these things right here. So far right now it's gone down to 47 because I just got back into doing more of my fitness, and that ain't nothing to me. I mean, I grade hard. Having a resting heart rate of 45 used to be great for a UFC, healthy foods and whatnot. But okay, I'm done. I ramble too much, man. It's not a ramble. I mean, it's got great information, but what you saw is why I posted what I did in the beginning, so it can draw your attention. Veganism is an unhealthy practice. It's the war fighter. A resting heart rate, that ain't jack crap. If you ask me, that's nothing. Okay, for me, I guess I grade harder. I'm like a general, I could be like a dictator, man. I got that the commander personality of the Myers-Briggs. So, you know, I'm like hard with myself too, but you know, you gotta, man, you gotta wake up and smell the roses and make these changes. So this is why you saw what you saw in the front of watch that video, that brief 44-second video of me transitioning was Weston A Price. He's the man. Clap, baby. You ought to be clapping in your room watching this. That guy is awesome, man. Weston A Price. He put it all together for fitness, for how you think, for to keep and salvage your teeth, to look good, your facial features with nutrition, and the soil testing, and then the butter testing. you know, soil for organic gardening, farming, you know, they keep doing it with that. And then, you know, foraging, doing wild foods foraging, doing on your own. I mean, that's crucial. That's everything. Your food is everything. Having the roe, the vitamin roe. Why do you think Japan, they get all the roe from Alaska? They take it all. Yeah, because they know, they're smart. That's what you do. And they eat mostly all raw stuff. So they're ahead of the game in their minds too. And they live long, longevity. They live a long time. People in Japan. I mean, they have oily fish. They're having fermented foods. I think they even had their fermented, even it was soy, but it was a special, not modernized, it was the old-fashioned primitive fermentation they would have. And I agree with that style of doing it, the soy, not the modernization garbage that you have now that they try selling you. So yeah, you have them. People, and also in like Europe, would eat a lot of kefir. That's what I do, and I feel incredible. The Bulgaria, you hear about this having a lot of kefir. You know, all those people in Europe would subsist and eat a lot of this, and you feel tremendous energy. I mean, you just feel real good, and your gut flora is excellent. You don't have leaky gut. It will repair leaky gut doing that. Eating, you know, worst things you got going in order to have good-looking kids. With nice pearl white teeth with the dental arch formation. In other words, having your jawbone stick out to allow room for your wisdom teeth. There should be room. A vegan diet is never going to do that. It's going to make it so much worse. And then also, with this ramblings of mine, you could say, why some of these guys go so long on a vegan diet. 1, they're endomorphs. 2, they got perfect teeth. Their dental arches are perfect. And that's why they're going so long. Okay? Pay attention. Watch the videos. Be observant. Read Weston A Price's book. Don't set it along to your bookshelf. That's what I did. That was the biggest insult of injury. I bought Price's book before this guy told me about veganism, and I thought, I couldn't believe what I read. And that's how it is. When you read Weston A Price's book, it says that you normally take 7 years to start doing something about it because you don't believe what you read, and you don't believe how bad you're being lied to with modernization. Oh my word. So yeah, it's some powerful stuff, man. I mean, it can get you, you know? You got to look into it, research it, read it. And there's never enough to learn. I'm still learning more. I don't know everything. I mean, I'm not a narcissist. I want to learn from others too. We help each other out, man. That's how this world ought to be. Not who has the most money. That's so ridiculous. What's that? Does nothing, man. Allows you to travel, which is great. Allow you to get nice things. Yeah, that's great. But you can do your own, man. You want to be primitive? You can get your own animals and stuff, fur animals. Make your own leather. Get leather from the animals and make it that way. There shouldn't be anything wrong with doing that, okay? Too crazy. Peace.